Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Episode 2. Here we are.
Welcome.
Welcome, everyone, to Autodidacts podcast. Wait, I'm Autodidact. Guys, we haven't really decided on a name yet, but please forgive
YouTube'un
us.
Autodidact part bilen var. So I guess we just have to stick to that until we find a better one.
I know. So I'm gonna have to stop saying Waim Damu Nambi Makomalapim Stick to
I
that
know.
name.
Yeah.
So today, for those of you who don't know us, we're just two friends, we're really into self-development. Now we read a lot of books, self-development books, and now we thought of sharing, the books that we've read. Now also like reading new books and now sharing the knowledge, Zima, so that እኛ አውቀን ሳይሆን like we say this on episode 1 እኛ አውቀን አይደለም እዚህ ጋር የመጣ ነው. We're not የሆነ super wise ምናምን people. We're just learning. Um, we don't know shit. We're learning here, and
Yeah.
so it's like why not share what we've learned, ነገር ነው. So today we have a very special book that we really love and that we really resonate with. Uh, and it is
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. One of the most over-advertised books. I don't know if these advertisements are paid for or not, but ከ1935 ጀምሮ እስካሁን ድረስ advertisement expensive በጣም expensive ነው የሚሆነው. At least
crazy.
there's some sort of value in the book ነገር ማለት ነው.
Yeah.
Like I think you mentioned, it's been more than 80 years. So that's a long time. And the principles in the book, till this day, like they apply and like directly use money, which is insane. And it goes that like the book is very valuable. It's one of the first few books that I think we both read
100%.
and impact again. But so we just want to make sure. I know there's a lot of like summaries and reviews and stuff about this book, but we just wanted to talk about it since it's impacted us in a massive way. Personally,
Very massive way. Malat, like I don't know if people properly read this book. I think that it would really change them, unless they're already very good at communicating with people. It would massively change them. I think it's like a book that really influenced, like really helped us take off በብዙ ነገሮች in our life. Right?
Yeah. Personal life, business, relationships, like everything.
Totally. Everywhere. Because communication is everywhere, right? People are everywhere. Always we're dealing with people. በቃ ያስፈልጋል ደግሞ people skills ሁሉም ቦታ ማለት ነው። ስራ ላይ ምንም ላይ even
ሰው ባይኖርም ከራስ ጋር
yeah
እሱ
really
ራሱ
though, like you
ራሱን
can even
የቻለ
apply
ሪሌሽንሽፕ ነው።
እሱ ለብቻው ራሱ አንድ ነገር ነው እና this book በጣም we really love this book and we really think this book is really helpful for any of you if you want to check it out. So the book has 4 parts. Today we're only going to be discussing part 1 and part 2. Part 3 ለብቻው in another episode, part 4 ለብቻው in another episode ብለን አስበናል because መጽሐፉ ትልቅ ሆኖ ሳይሆን but the knowledge that it has and the content is pretty thick. So በአንድ episode everything cram እናድርገው ብንል ጭራሽ we wouldn't be doing it justice. Like, so many knowledge would be lost. And now we thought of doing part 1 and part 2 ዛሬ. Hopefully soon we'll do a good job. We'll see.
Yeah, let's go.
You want to start with part 1?
Yeah, so part 1 talks about, part 1 is fundamental techniques in handling people. And me and Leo, we both talked about like how the titles in these books are like, they'll just make you say, oh shit, yeah, I have to read it in because like chigrin or like point out to me. I think he applies his own principles in this book as he's writing it down. I've seen that which is amazing. And that's his fundamental techniques in handling people. I mean, we're all here to ይሄን መጽሐፍ ስንከፍት ይሄን ነገር ፍለገን የመጣነው አይደል? Like how to handle people. So መጀመሪያ ሜንሽን
Right.
ያደረገው እሱን ነው. So it's like
Yeah.
it's already wow. Okay, let's get into it. So that's part one. And chapter one is if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. That's what it says. And this chapter mainly focuses on and revolves around not criticizing, condemning, or complaining. So it says like even the title, like if you gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. This is what it means. Like don't criticize, don't condemn, don't complain. Because criticizing and condemning usually affects people's pride or whoever you're criticizing, and it makes them defensive and resentful. So whenever we criticize, people may just try to justify why they're being, why they're being criticized. So instead of admitting their errors and saying, "Oh, we can improve this and that," I don't know. So like criticizing usually makes situations worse than better, even though we're taught otherwise or we've been doing otherwise. When we're criticizing, we're looking for positive outcomes, but it usually leads to negative outcomes for both parties.
100%, 100%. And many like in the book, like it says that people are not creatures of logic, but they're creatures of emotion. And yeah, like you see a lot of content, like, for example, on Instagram or something. Oh, men are
Yeah.
very logical, women are emotional.
Mm.
Nah, we're all emotional, honestly speaking. Like it's not might not be the same kind of emotion. Okay, like we have ego, like እንደውም እኛ our ego gets more affected እና more emotional እንሆናለን because of that than women ማለት ነው። ግን anyways like it says that like በጣም emotional እና like we really have to be understanding እና of that እና more እንዲሁም I feel like this chapter really focuses on like ለሰው በጣም sympathy እንዲኖረን ነገር really like putting ourselves in that person's shoes እና really try to understand, whatever that person's going through. ሊያስቀይሙን ይችላሉ የሆነ ሰዎች, they might do something that we don't approve of. በቃ የሆነ በኢየሱስም እንደዚህ ያደርጉ ምናምን ምናምን በቃ የሆነ የሚያስብለን ነገር ማለት ከዛ በኋላ ግን we should try to put ourselves in their shoes እና ከዛ በኋላ try to understand them because if we were in their shoes, whatever the thing they were going through or የእነሱን አስተዳደግ ብናድግ ከእነሱ ቤተሰብ ተወልደን ከነሱ ሰፈር ከነሱ በቃ everything like እነሱ ባሉበት በሆነን እንትን ብንል we would probably do the same thing that they did, ከነሱ perspective ማለት so I think
100%.
the whole thing goes around really let's really be understanding, let's develop that um, kind of empathy within us ነገር to try to imagine ourselves in people's shoes ነገር እና I
Yeah.
really thought that was really good.
Yeah. And the chapter like ends with a note to parents about how to be critical with children. And I think that's a huge intent about like in the Ethiopian community, but I mean like like parents are like more feared than respected or ነገር because of that like expectations that they have from us, which is very high, and which is why like we also have high expectations for ourselves, but at the same time, and this Father Forget to Me, it's more like a poem by W. Livingston, and he's like in a regretful way, a father, like he is the father that realizes that he has been judging his young son by adult standards, like expecting too much from a kid. Measuring like on the book it says like measuring by the yardstick of my own years, which is like such a huge intent when like a father like measuring a young kid because like based on his own expectations and that looks so yeah you want it like and a father writes this poem about how he regrets on how he treated his son and how he could have just been understanding and not criticized his every move and letting him be his own, like allowing him to be a kid basically, which he didn't allow him to do by a lot of criticism and complaining and condemning. So that was an amazing way to finish the chapter.
በጣም
The part one,
በጣም you have to read the poem like በደንብ emotional feel ለማድረግ
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
you can feel the emotion in the poem ማለት ነው. So moving on to chapter 2. So chapter 2, the title is the big secret of dealing with people. So another በጣም የሌለ clickbaitish የሆነ title because like what is the big secret of dealing with people, like የሌለ it's like I want to know, I want to read this book and I really want to know what the secret is ነገር because you have a lot of issues in your daily interactions ማለት ነው. እና
Yeah.
so ምን ይላል like give honest and sincere appreciation ይላል. Like that is like I think what the whole chapter focuses on, right? So the reason it says that is like so it supports that intent by saying people, everyone have the desire to be important. And not like I remember like when I first read this book, like it was like, yeah, it's like something obvious, but at the same time, it kind of hits
Yeah.
you because everyone really wants to be important, you know? And now when you're honestly giving like honest and sincere appreciation, you are feeling that. You are making that person feel important. And a lot of things that we do are motivated by this feeling of importance. Well, yeah, Leila, like if you think about it, like a lot of things that we say, a lot of things that, daily የምናደርጋቸው ነገሮች ምናምን ነገር በቂ የሆነ ኢምፖርታንት ስሜት እንዲሰማን by our community, friends, our partners, family ምናምን ነገር በቃ like because we want to feel important. A lot of those ማለት ነው things.
Yeah.
እና giving honest and sincere appreciation um, ያንን ዲዛየር አንድ ሰው ፍልፊል እንዲያደርግ ያደርጋል ማለት ነው እና that in return will also like influence them to do what you want them to do because doing that would make them feel good ማለት ነው about themselves.
Yeah.
For example, if somebody does something good and if you appreciate that about them, they feel important, like not they start really enforce ታደርገዋል ያንን whatever action they took ማለት ነው ከዛ በኋላ they will start doing that again and again and again and again ከዛ they will start feeling good ራሱ like በቃ የሆነ ወይ ህፃን ልጅ እግር ኳስ ሲጫወት አንተ ጎበዝ ሜሲ ምናምን ምናምን ካልከው you're gonna see that kid
Yeah.
like
Every
playing
day.
football every day እንዴ
That's so
like
true.
really important in that point.
Better. Better. And I think there's an individual that kind of mastered this into like Charles Schwab was the guy that basically mastered this thing, and that he used to work for Andrew Carnegie, not Dale Carnegie, but Andrew Carnegie, which is I think we were still manufacturing Antonina Barona. Charles Schwab was one of the highest paid at the time. Maratona. I think I don't remember the exact quote, but he refers to saying like, I don't know anything about like there's so many people that know better than me in like steel or but
Yes.
his greatest strength was like to arouse enthusiasm in other people and how to handle people like his greatest strength and that is why he was able to be successful and now like appreciation and encouragement and Charles Schwab says like appreciation and encouragement are the best ways to arouse enthusiasm and develop the best that is in a person so when we appreciate and encourage it arouses enthusiasm, it arouses motivation and an eager want to get something done so
Yes.
that is the best way that we can develop what is in somebody and I think Charles Schwab like he rather than criticizing he offers like incentives to work like there's a crazy quote that he says I'm hearty in my approbation and lavish in my praise. So like he always holds himself back for criticism and he's always quick to jump to his praises. So he's always lavish on his praise, but like hearty on his approbation. So but like most people are the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're always holding back on appreciation and then we're always quick to criticism. Because
Right.
we're like if somebody like in a workplace if somebody's doing the right thing, like you don't appreciate them because they're supposed to do the right thing, I guess.
Yeah.
You're here to do the right thing, so why would I
I'm getting paid
appreciate
for that.
you?
Yeah.
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 Or like
Yeah.
in a relationship or something like if your girlfriend or your parents, like if they're doing something nice for you, you're like, oh, they are my parents. Like, why would I appreciate them? But if they don't show you parental things, or if they don't show you like a girlfriend or a boyfriend ማድረግ ያለበትን ነገር, you're
Yeah,
quick to jump to that and criticize that action ነገር ማለት ነው.
yeah,
So offering sincere appreciation can be life changing. Uh, but one thing we have to always be careful about is to make sure we are sincerely genuine, and we're not like, we have to make sure we differentiate like flattery from sincere
percent,
praise and appreciation ማለት ነው.
100%, 100%. I mean, like that
Yeah,
part is like key, but I'm key ማለት ነው
that
because like
makes a huge difference.
oof, we cannot fake it, right? I mean, like if we fake it, I mean, we've both probably been in a lot of situations where someone we know that someone is faking it. You know, they're giving us, let's
Yeah,
say, compliments or
yeah.
they're saying something to us, but you know it's not sincere. You know it's like something's off, and you're like, okay, you know, ብለህ የሆነ ዝም ብለህ እንትን ትለዋለህ።
Mm,
and now it's like it really has to be sincere, not honest የሆነ በስርዓት ማለት ነው። and not like
better.
you might not like. So one question I had even for myself while reading this chapter is like እንዴ ታዲያ ምንድን ነው ላይክ ለተዋወቅኩት ሰው በሙላ ከየት አምጥቼ ነው ዝም ብዬ አፕሪሺየት የማደርጋቸው ምናምን ነገር እና it even talks
Yeah.
about in the book like find በቃ like find honestly በቃ appreciate የምታደርገው ነገር from them. It might be the way they're dressed. It might be um I don't know their hair. እንዲሁም ኤግዛምፕል አለ about hair እንትን አይደለ you have
Mm,
great hair
mm,
ምናምን ብሎ እንትን
mm.
አለው the postman ማለት ነው እና like
Yeah, yeah.
you can find the little things to appreciate. It doesn't have to be something big or የሆነ በቃ it doesn't have to be oh you went through this ምናምን መባል የለበትም, you know. It can be the
Mm-hmm.
little things. እና honestly ግን እነሱን appreciate አድርግ. Don't like ገና ለገና appreciate ላድርግ ብለህ ደግሞ don't try to make things up or don't fake it, you know, because like it's and you're not being sincere if you do that. ሁለት ደግሞ you know it's kind of obvious like yeah, something's off, you know, you can feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think it also says like, if you don't have nothing to appreciate, don't fake it.
yeah,
Flattery, not doing it shallow. So like if
100%.
genuinely, if you try your best to appreciate somebody, you can't find anything, don't appreciate it. Just let it go, and it's okay. ነገር ማለት ነው.
100%. Yeah, 100%. 100%. በጣም የሌለ key by the way, the first chapters I don't know like they're key የሌለ ማለት ነው key concepts
Yeah,
ነገር ናቸው በጣም ማለት ነው.
better, better.
All right. So chapter 3 ምን ይላል? So he who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. Another great chapter title.
Yeah,
What is this? What is this that we can do so that we can have the whole world, you know, supporting us na behind us nagar na? You know, what is it that we need to avoid so that we won't like have a lonely way nagar? Milo.
mm-hmm.
So basically, the whole chapter focuses on arousing in the other person an eager want. So basically, what this means is like ማንንም ሰው ምንም ልታስደርጉ አትችልም unless they want to do it. The only thing
Yeah,
you can do is make them want to do it. So it's like, you know, like you cannot make someone do something. You can only make them want to do something. You get what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Alubalezia, it's like if you force someone, they'll do it maybe like Andik and they're not gonna do it. You're not gonna have the whole world behind you, period.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
not like how do I make someone you know want to do something, you know? Milon ጥያቄ ደግሞ like how does the book answers it? It basically says like try to put yourself in the other person's shoe. So basically kind of like back to chapter 1. So really put yourself in the other person's shoe. Not like what imagine what would benefit me, you know? In their situation
yeah,
በሆን ምንድን ነው like what is it for me, what's in it for me ሚለውን really put yourself from their perspective. It's kind of basic but like really people tend to not follow it ከሚገርም ሁኔታ ጋር ማለት ነው የሚያስቅ ሁኔታ ጋር because
better,
people just be
better.
like they'll come up to you and be like oh you know እንደዚህ 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 አድርግልኝ I know you እንደዚህ እንደዚህ እንደምታደርግ or ምናምን I know you have this ስጠኝ ወይ ምናምን ምናምን it's like ገብቷል you cannot do that like you're not putting yourself in the other person's shoes. So it's like if you put yourself in the other person's shoes, you're like, okay, you know, this guy wants this, this, this. I'll try to give him this. Lazy, let me give him an offer. So you go there, talk to him. Oh,
yeah,
I know you want this. I can give you this. What you want? And yeah, I want this. Kazala, that person would be willing to, whatever it is, to do whatever you want. One, it's kind of simple, but like a lot of people, including me, but
yeah.
I used to skip this basic concept one.
በጣም conscious መሆን ይጠይቃል አይደል? Like instinctually, like you're going after something you want, so you just jump to ask for that thing ነገር ማለት ነው እና
For
I
sure.
think one example, I don't know what chapter ላይ እንደተጠቀመው ግን that I will never forget was like he's like when you go fishing, like you're not giving the fish ice cream or something አይደለ?
Yeah.
Like you're giving him like worms. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean like worms are not like my favorite food to eat, but it's the
Mm,
favorite food to eat for. That's the bait for the
yes.
fish. So that's what we're putting on the hook when we're
Mm,
going fishing to attract the fish towards us. So when you ice cream like that's our favorite food. That's what we like. Again, it's not coming to us. I think I don't know if it's in this chapter on specific chapters, but
yeah. Yeah.
that always sticks in my head.
Better.
And it's always like we have to make sure we're putting ourselves in somebody's shoes. And Carnegie like
Yeah.
talks about businesses and marketing letters, and
Hmm.
these often fail to talk about, to put people's in,
Yeah.
like to put the letters in their like in the consumer's perspective instead of
Hmm.
like as a business I have a product or instead of like
Hmm.
what is this problem solving, like from the customer's perspective, what is the benefit that this customer wants, what is the benefit that this customer is going to get. And this is like marketing 101, right? Like
Correct.
when you're selling, like you're selling the problem, not the product. So
Yeah.
and this is a sales people and does that, like they want to make, you want to make sure that like the problem you solve is like like the customer knows the problem you solve, and not customer who like into instead of the other way around. And
Correct.
I think just genuine consideration of like the other person's like የሚፈልገውን ነገር እንትን ማለት it goes a long way. በጣም በጣም
Yeah.
እና it's like
Better.
we just need to find a way to make the situation like a win-win, right? Like when we put ourselves in the other person's shoe, we understand that we can give them what they want. In return, they can give us what they want. And there's always
Yeah.
a place. It might be a thin line, but there's always that line when both parties are happy and we own a best situation at it. And we have to try to find that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. እንዲሁም like አሁን እንደዛ ስትል like ሂት ያደረገኝ even from the book የሚለው ነገር like win-win ስናደርገው so it's like we really have to genuinely think about ከሱ perspective ብቻ መሆን ሳይሆን ከሱ perspective ሆነን how do we help him ከሚለው like mindset ነው መሄድ ያለብን። አለበለዚያ if
Mm-hmm.
we have like a selfish motive like how can I get this out of him ብለን የሆነ በselfish
Yeah,
motive የምንሄድ
yeah,
ከሆነ it doesn't matter whether that guy wants it so bad whatever it is like በቃ የሆነ ምግብ ሳይኖረው ቀርቶ በጣም ምግብ የፈለገ ሰው ሊሆን ይችላል እና if we have like a selfish motive በቃ የሆነ like ለሱ ልንረዳው ሳይሆን ለራሳችን to get something out of it ነው ነገር የሚለውን you know that person is most likely to say no, even if they want whatever that is, man. So it's like
yeah,
it's not only like thinking about the other person's perspective, but like genuinely trying to help them, coming from that mindset instead of like, oh, how do I help me? So like this win-win, like really, like let's give them a win, but also let me win at the same time. You get what I mean? Instead of like,
yeah.
let me win by giving them this win, Saiho. Let me give them this win, and I'll win at the same time. በሚለው
Mm-hmm.
mindset ማለት and it really makes a big difference like how you approach it ማለት ነው በጣም
But
alright ፓርቱን እንግባ ታዲያ
yeah,
let's go
ፓርቱ እንግዲህ አሁን ብዙ አዳዲስ ነገሮች ከዚህ በፊት የምናደርገው እንዳለ አቁመናል። so now we need to figure out how to make people like us ማለት ነው አይደል? like
yeah
እንዳለ ከዚህ በፊት የምናደርገው ፈርሶብናል, so we have to figure out a new way. So part two, the title is 6 ways to make people like you. Like, I mean, I wish there was a better word, but like it's like like 6 ways to make people like you,
Yeah,
and that is the chapter of this book. And chapter like part two, no, chapter one of part two is do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. እንግዲህ ይህን ታይትል አንብባችሁ ውስጥ መግባት
I don't
እንትን ካላለ በቃ like
know.
የምር I know it's like you have to read it like አሁን ማለት ነው I'll be welcome anywhere ይህን ካረኩ በኋላ like and
100%.
and it's kind of iterating like some of the points that we've previously mentioned, but like uh, the chapter one of like how to make people like you is becoming genuinely interested in other people. That is the first thing. Like we talked about this appreciation line, and it's like instead of trying to impress others with how awesome we are, or how amazing or our accolades or what we've achieved,
Yeah,
let's leave all of that and now let's become interested in them. Let's try to get to genuinely be interested in people and try to get to know that person. And like we've seen this multiple times, right? Like most people are more interested in themselves. And that's just how it is. Like because we're in
yeah,
our own
100%.
world, living our own life. We're all carried away with what we feel and what we want. So it's like we're all interested in ourselves rather than anyone else. So like we go to like networking events or and you see people just have
Yeah.
achieved this, have achieved this, and then they like I'll just stand there like I don't care, man. Like like
Facts.
sometimes I
Yeah,
feel
like
that way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
because I'm like everybody just cares about themselves instead of others, and
100%.
not like
Yeah.
it's just showing that being genuinely interested in others
Mm.
goes a long way, and it makes people you'll be welcome anywhere, basically.
But I don't think you could have said it in a better way. Like everybody, every freaking body, like only cares about themselves. ገብቷል? Like ተነስተን የሰው ችግር
100%.
አለምና የራሳችን ችግር ነው የምናስብ ነው like
Mhm.
whatever it is እና like when you become that person who's interested in other people rather than being self-centered እና ስለ ራስ ብቻ ማሰብ you automatically stand out like automatically
በጣም
ማለት ነው like you'll automatically be that person. Oh wow, this guy is really interesting የሚያስብል ማለት ነው. And
yeah
usually you don't even say things, right? Even like in the book Miaro, it's like just listen, just go to people now, like hear their stories, like make them feel important, like back to what the chapter tuma, like
mm,
really make them feel important. Just go and listen to their stories. ቅድም እንዳልከው like አንድ ሰው መጥቶ like let's say networking events ምናምን ስትሄድ በቃ የሆነ like ያወራላል like I have this going, I have this going, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. You're like, okay, interesting. Like interested on it, similar, like what he has to say, man. Now, by the end of the day, የሚያስቅ ሁኔታ ጋር you'll be like, oh, I had an amazing conversation. While you didn't even speak 2 words, the whole time you were just listening to him. And now
yeah
that's like,
yeah
I think the most like, I mean, I think this maybe this part is the most woo, a lot of chapters blew my mind because I think this is the most
ይከብዳል
important part. But
ይከብዳል መምረጥ ይከብዳል like the most
yeah,
important one ማለት because they're all like አምቦ ነገር ናቸው ለዛ
correct.
it's very hard to pick an intent but like maybe like and pushback like እኔ ሳነብ ያጋጣሚ ምንድነው was like
Mhm.
what if I'm not interested in that conversation? Like
Ooh,
let's say like I want somebody like I really want to work with somebody.
mm,
Now I'm talking to them and I'm like, what if like የሚያወሩልኝ ነገር በቃ ምንም ኢንትረስት እያደረገኝ አይደለም
yeah.
በቃ I enjoy how passionate they are ምናምን ነገር ግን
Mhm.
ወሬው በቃ ምንም ነገር እየጋበዘኝ አይደለም
That's
like
fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I completely get
እና
what you mean.
like
But those people,
ምንድን
yeah,
ነው ማረገው like የዛኔ ማለት ነው እና
yeah.
like the book talks about like it says like genuinely being interested. It doesn't say like faking interest or something. And genuinely Milo is like the most important part. It's like you can't fake that shit out of it. Like if you can genuinely be interested in like for a split second and be on like to try to listen and understand and be uh have ears to listen to that person, just don't.
Yeah.
Like if it's really that hard, like that's what I've decided in now. Like if it's really that hard for me to do, now if ይሄን ያህል like displeasing ከሆነ ይሄን ያህል በቃ ሰላሜን የሚነሳኝ ከሆነ conversation, then like generally
Yeah.
you don't want that relationship with that person ማለት
Yeah,
ነው.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
life
yeah.
ውስጥም ገብተው
100%. Yeah.
that is what is going to keep continuing, or like you're
Correct.
going to continue to have that like that's
Correct.
going to be part of your life one way or another. So it's like
Correct.
it's a nice way to get rid of it before it even starts ነገር ማለት ነው. So
Correct. Correct.
that's how I was able to answer that until ማለት. So it's been kind of easier for me ከዛ በኋላ.
Definitely, definitely. And in my, I think religiously, but like I was following all the rules. Get like, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to do that every time. Maybe like for someone listening to this, like, okay, I have to do this every time. Like, not really, because like sometimes you don't want to make those people your friends, right? And this book is about how to win friends and influence people. Now, like, you want to win the right kind of friends, and now you want to influence the right kind of people. Like, you don't want to be friends with everyone because you don't have the energy, the mental space, the time. You don't have a lot of
በጣም
things to do that ማለት ነው እና
በጣም
definitely this is a key lesson honestly አሁን ያወራው underrated የሆነ
yeah
በጣም key lesson ማለት ነው in any
በጣም
book actually this book ብቻ ሳይሆን በጣም በጣም እሺ let's go to chapter 2. All right,
yeah
so chapter 2 is so the title is a simple way to make a good first impression. So as always, the title is really intent. And now, what is the simple way to make a good first impression? No, the answer is Ski. Let's show it. Let's show it, Tral. A
ትላለች
smile.
እዚህ ጋር.
It's a smile. And not like I think I consumed this chapter like the whole time. Sanapo, ምንድነው ይመጣልኝ? Like how we say, oh, he so የደስ አለው, የደስ አላት ወይ
Mhm.
ደስ አለው እሱ ምናምን ይባላል. That's because they're smiling. That's it,
Yeah,
right? Like they're smiling. It's like when you're smiling, you just light up the whole room, and it's like you feel good. You make the other person feel good, and it's like win-win situation.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
በጣም and this is I mean it's a very simple እንትን
Hmm.
just freaking smile, like make
Yeah,
sure it's genuine. ዝም ብለህ አታግጠጥ በሄድክበት because
yeah,
like just have a genuine smile, like genuinely like put a smile on your face, and
mhm,
that goes a long way. በጣም
meta,
ማለት ነው.
meta, meta. Maybe
Yeah.
one thing that it says, like in the book, actually, like um, ሁለት ኮንትራዲክቲንግ ነገር የሆነብኝ is የሆነ genuine ሳይሆን don't do it የሚለው ሳይድ አለ at the same time ደግሞ
Mhm.
there's this thing that it says in the book እና ምን ይላል just try to smile, like smile and now your feelings will follow your actions. So
Oh yeah,
actually it's
yeah.
it's it's a fact ደግሞ like I've tested it on myself like a lot of times እና አሁን ዝም ብዬ መሳቅ ጀምር ምናምን ነገር ሳላስበው I start feeling good እና my emotions or my feelings start following up my actions of smiling ማለት ነው ከዛ
Mhm.
በኋላ በቃ it's like
Mhm.
መጀመሪያ ላይ I did not really feel like smiling ግን already smile ማድረግ ከጀመርኩኝ በኋላ የሆነ my emotions kind of followed up ማለት
Yeah,
ነው and
yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
was like a very clean trick ነገር and that part
That's
was good.
actually a
So
very good one.
genuine ሳይሆንም you can like trigger it and now you can follow it up. Again, if you're not able to follow it up, then you don't have to pretend or something.
Yeah, yeah,
እንደዛ
no,
በሚለው ነው
truly.
understand ያደረኩት. Yeah,
That's amazing. Actually a very nice way of it.
yeah,
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 because I don't know, like your thoughts kind of control
correct.
your body and your mental ነገር. So it's like
Mhm.
just trying it out, it might create a huge የሆነ domino effect ነገር to reality ነገር ማለት ነው.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's amazing. We can go to chapter 3. Chapter 3 says, if you don't do this, you're headed for trouble. እንግዲህ ሰውዬ ምን ያህል ጊዜ እንደሚገባልን አናውቅም። በዚህ ታይትል ትላለህ በሁል ጊቭ
የሌለ
ሪዲንግ የሌላ ጠናደፉ ግን ያው it does this is also a very simple concept, but one that don't do. Like it says commit to remembering people's names. Like this is it says a person's name is the sweetest and most important sound to them. Like I don't know. So
Correct.
it says that in the book, and I like Sifamo. I was like, wow, that is so true. Like,
So true.
and now you know, I just remembers like, especially like a Z, like whatever. Again, I think I've told you this multiple times. Like, you know, like an Ethiopian name is kind of like Lamaletun Kabdat. So it's like
Yeah.
Nahom, like people say Nahom or whatever. And not like
Yeah.
people that I met first time and I'm nigger, when they say my name right,
Yeah.
oh hey Nahom, like how are you? And I'm nigger. And I'm you
Such a
know,
compliment, right?
jealous. Like it makes me feel so happy.
Yeah, Leila. Same, same. People
I'm
usually go
like, what the
لا
fuck?
والله ምናምን ነገር ነው የሚሉኝ
Yeah,
እንዴት አወጣኸው? Not like if somebody's like በስርዓት pronounce ካደረገው or like hears me say it and like next time እንትን ካለው I'm like huge respect for that person.
better, better. Or somebody like you just met once or something and you see them again and they say your name. And then I'm a nigga. Wow.
Yeah, Leila.
Wow, no, that's yeah, man. Like it actually feels so good. I'm not gonna lie.
I felt
Yeah,
that
man.
one.
No, yeah,
كان
that's generally
Leila.
how I feel. Like,
Same
generally,
no.
and I'm like, wow, this guy remembers my name when I'm
Yeah,
like,
for
oh,
sure.
damn, this thing.
For sure,
And
for
that
sure.
like it's almost like forgetting somebody's name is like it just makes you feel like they're unimportant to you. Like I don't know,
Correct.
like oh he so here like how we just met, like I don't mean anything to him. And that's like it's
Mm,
but I'm subtle, no, but it's very effective. So
yeah,
like make sure like you write down people's names if you have to, or some to get this practice in, man. Like as soon as somebody sees your name, just say that in your head
mm,
10, 20 times.
mhm.
As soon as he turns around, I think Del Carnegie, this is one of the techniques that he used to
Yes.
use or something.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody turns around and he writes the name down.
Hmm.
And and that's like an easy way. And then he just says his name over and over again. So next time he sees that person, he knows his name. He calls them by his name. And
Yeah.
that makes a huge, 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 huge difference. But then personally I tried.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy difference. Crazy difference. And not like I think like one thing that's really important that we forget to do ሰው ስንተዋወቅ ምናምን is like ለምዳል ሰላም እንትና እባላለሁ ብለህ it's like you don't really pay attention, at that moment you're not really conscious and not like ስትተዋወቅ you're not really thinking ስሙ ማን ነው እስኪ like let me really listen to his name, እና like let me really grab his name አንልም ጭራሽ ማለት ነው እና
Yeah,
like I
that
feel like
happens to
that's
me a
like
lot.
right ከዛ like you're
But
like የሆነ መጥራት ስትፈልግ you're like oh shit I kind of fucked up ትላለህ ከዛ ላይ ዘኔ one ከዛ
I
you're
know.
like እንትና ምናምን it's like such a huge disrespect ነገር የሆነ ታወቀ ሳትፈልገው it's like you're telling that person በቃ የሆነ I don't value ነገር ማለት ነው
But
እና
but
yeah
but
remember the name.
remember the name. Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
a fan. Remember my name.
Yes, yes, yes.
That could be a nice intro to Arunta, by the way. But
Anta? I know. That's
yeah,
key.
it's almost like a boxing internet. That's a nice intro.
DJ DJ the Janine will give you the word to Russia.
I know.
Okay,
Let's
let's
go.
go to chapter 4.
Yeah,
So chapter 4, the title is An Easy Way to Become a Good Conversationalist. So we're not gonna mention the about the titles again on by this time you're probably even tired of
yeah, I
us
know.
talking about it like that, being a fan of the titles. So
But
basically what the book says is to be a good listener and to encourage others to talk about themselves. So when it comes to being a good listener, I think me personally, I think it's the most underrated skill anyone can have. Like but
yeah,
I'm so important, but I'm so important, not but I'm underrated that a lot of people do not have. Not like a lot of people are too busy talking about themselves. They're not really listening, and talking
but
about I don't know, or listening to other people's interests, you know. But there's a like a selfish motive there, and not like but method, like what the book says, like let's try to be kind of selfless, እንስማቸው እስኪ what people have to say. There are a lot of things that people are interested in. We might not know shit about that topic. ምንም ላናቅ እንችላለን
Mm-hmm.
ግን እስኪ እንስማቸው. Maybe that guy wants to talk about, I don't know, ከበሮ. you know እስኪ እንስማው. It would be interesting, honestly. Tell us about ከበሮ. Like, how did you start ከበሮ መምታት? እንዴት ነው የጀመርከው? Like, honestly, እንዴት ነው የጀመርከው? How does one start, I don't know, ከበሮ ቢዝነስም ቢሆን, or like ከበሮ የመምታት journey more, where does it come from? It's like,
Yeah,
it's actually genuinely an interesting story. Now when you get to hear it ደግሞ, you start seeing other aspects of that person ማለት ነው. እና
yeah,
የሚያስቀው ነገር, like, whenever people are talking about themselves, they really feel good, like just like we talked about መጀመሪያ ላይ ማለት ነው. They really feel important. Now they really feel listened to. Now, like,
yeah,
that thing is really nice to people, that by the end of such conversation, they already feel very much closer to us. We're already winning friends and influencing those people ማለት ነው, basically, like the
yeah,
title of the book.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you said it perfectly. Like,
Mm.
there's not much to add, is like, and I think this chapter, like, yeah, chapter one and part two, chapter one, and kind of one, like it's like genuinely be interested in other people, yeah. And after you're genuinely interested, ደግሞ ያው ማዳመጥ መቻል አለብን. Like, you can't
Yeah.
just be genuinely interested in በአእምሮ ግን ስለ ራስ ችግር አሁን ይህን ቢል እንዴት ነው የምከፍለው ምናምን እያልክ ዝም ብለህ ሰውዬው ሲለፈልፍ ደግሞ it doesn't work that way, right? Like, so you have to be kind of intense. So this is
Yeah.
I think you did an amazing job as the so we can move on to chapter 5.
Do it.
Chapter 5 is how to interest people. Yeah, so I think it goes back to what we said, Kedem, I think, when we were talking about what chapter was it?
I don't know.
An eager want to.
Mhm.
So about chapter 3, part 1, chapter 3, like it kind of goes back to that, I think, right? Because it's like we have to, it says, talk in terms of what other people's in other people's interests rather than your own. Like, so it's like when you're talking, like, talk in terms of like የእነሱ interest and የእነሱ want instead of your own want ነገር ማለት ነው. Like it says, like, even before meeting somebody, like, try to do like a few research about like what is this person interested in.
Yeah.
Like, what is this person like, what is this person trying to do? Like, this could be a nice icebreaker, right? Like, I think there's a lot of examples that the book mentions about how like a lot of examples about how somebody did some research. I don't specifically remember the example, but
Yeah. Yeah.
about his
I think
son
research about
being
stamps.
something.
Yeah, yeah, stamp
The
በጣም
stamp,
ፈልጎ
yeah, yeah.
ከዛ yeah.
So that, like, it's just a few research that you can do, especially nowadays it's so easy to find out, like,
Mm-hmm.
and a quick thing or two, like, to see like what people can be genuinely interested in. And
Yeah.
doing those things can be an easy way, like, to break the ice and to start the conversation and to get people going. And it shows that, like, you're genuinely interested in somebody, and that person would genuinely be interested in you in
Yeah.
return. Man, it's kind of a funny give or take ነገር ማለት ነው.
Meta. 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 That part is actually really funny fact, የተረዳሁት. Like, when you're interested in people, they become interested in you too. And not like
Yeah.
interested as in like የሆነ I don't know, የሆነ ሲም ፓርክ ምናምን አይደለም። like የሆነ like እንደዚህ አይነት ነገር ሳይሆን for
Yeah.
for lack of better word simp ነው የምለው እና it's like genuinely listening to a person, not really understanding their perspective, trying to really listen to their perspective and not really understand them. Now when you do that
Yeah.
to people, they suddenly start being really interested in you, not trying, they would suddenly start trying to understand the untamed perspective,
Better.
which is a crazy fact, to be honest.
Better.
All right, so what የሚቀጥለው need? I
Yeah.
think this has been summarized very good. So chapter 6, the title goes how to make people like you instantly. So I think, so one thing I noticed is like all the chapters are kind of related to each other ነገር የሆነ
Yeah.
አንዱ
Better.
በአንዱ ጋር በጣም ይነካካልም ይያያዛልም ነገር ማለት ነው.
Yeah.
So basically what it says in this chapter is like make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. So it's
Mhm.
like we so ቅድም እንዳወራ ነው, like everyone wants to feel important. Everyone in this world. Not like let's genuinely try to make all the people in our lives, wait, all the people, I mean, all the people in our lives beyond that has a በጣም የሆነ noble motive ነገር uh, rather than በቃ የሆነ only the people that I wanna እንትን with እነሱን I'll make them feel important ሌላውን ሰው ግን screw it ነገር that እንደዛ አይነት mindset like I don't know like it might work honestly speaking it might work
Yeah.
ግን like that's just not nice to do, right? And not like
Yeah.
make everyone in your life feel important. It might be by giving them appreciation, might be by listening to them. Um, there are countless things እዚህ ላይ የተጻፉ ማለት ነው። ግን whatever like thing you're doing, ሰማቸውም appreciation ሰጣቸው ምናምን ነገር really try to genuinely make people feel important ማለት ነው። Now that is like really really important for creating friendships, like really really important ማለት ነው. Like
በጣም
people really do appreciate that. And like I think that's really really underrated. Like you know when you foster that environment you get to attract በጣም nice things.
በጣም በጣም
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing to add to that. That was
Mhm.
very well said.
በቃ የለም
የለም ምንም ነገር
ሌላ
የለም። በቃ
የለም።
ልቤን ነው በቃ የተናገርከው ትላለህ።
All right, all right, all right, all right. So with that said, ዛሬ episode 2 ያልቃል ማለት ነው። Part 1 እና part 2 of how to win friends and influence people. We'll come back with um, part 2 of this book on episode 3. We'll dissect part 3 and dissect እናደርጋለን. And yeah, hopefully it was it was understandable and like
Yeah,
I don't know, this book is just amazing. That's just how I feel about it.
በጣም በጣም I agree. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So yeah, with that said, let's wrap it up. You wanna wrap it up, wrapping it up music ነገር
yeah,
dun 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 ምናምን አሪፍ ነበር. Everyone, we wish you a nice day, evening, morning, whatever it is. Go kill it.
yeah. Go
Peace.
fucking kill it. Yep. Let's go.